Coming up on this week's episode of NPS Now, students at Booker T. Washington are given post-graduation options. NPS principals work and learn together. And Lake Taylor High School students study their local ecosystem. All that and more next on NPS Now. Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source of news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. Juniors and seniors at Booker T. Washington High School had the opportunity to meet a variety of colleges, apprentice schools, and other organizations during their semi-annual college and career fair. The students not only had the chance to speak directly with possible employers and college admissions staff, but they could also fill out applications on site.
It's good to meet people at the schools, like the people who do admissions, because then they can put a name with a face when they look at your applications and stuff. It was very helpful. I learned a lot. I got accepted into some colleges. It was really good. Like, I needed it.
I think it's a great way because, like, some seniors like me, like, I don't know exactly what, but for them to, like, bring colleges here to actually be like, oh, would you like, this is what our college has to offer, this is what this has to offer, I think it's a real good, like, opportunity for the school.
A lot of them, they're still undecided about that next step. So we just want to give them opportunities to talk up to these schools, to these organizations about what they have to offer and how the students can be a part of those organizations. So to give them those kind of insights, bells going off so that they understand that, you know, I have options. It may not be what everyone else is doing, but, you know, they have somewhere to go after they graduate from Booker T. Washington High School.
As part of their ongoing professional development, principals from around the district met at the Rosemont Center to discuss various topics that are vital to their continued growth. Executive directors from the elementary, middle, and high schools led the talks with their groups, which enabled principals to gain insight through collaboration, sharing experiences, and teamwork.
This morning, our principals are unpacking and connecting the cycle for results, the Norfolk Public Schools cycle for results, to the principal performance evaluation system. They're going to reflect, identify nouns and verbs in this cycle for results so that they will know their behaviors and the standards of what they are to know and do, and then be able to connect that to the evaluation system in which there are 7 standards, and we can ensure that our principals are able to lead their schools.
We have a collaborative style, so what I'm doing is we bring a topic to the table, we bring the resources that are necessary, we talk about what the current practices are, and then from a training standpoint, you know, it's really about building capacity and understanding. We have some excellent principals that really know what they're doing, but we take it from another angle and look at it from a professional development standpoint in terms of improving the practices that we already have in place.
We all need to come together and grow professionally. We can't grow professionally in a vacuum. So this is a time when we come together as professionals and we can talk about our experiences, what we've done, what we need to do, how we need to go about making the changes that we need to make, because we're in a very tough time in education when we look at the data from our schools. It's critical that we come together and engage in this professional problem solving and dialogue.
UVA professor Dr. Dewey Cornell recently spoke to the members of the NPS staff about threat assessment, bullying, and school climate. This mandatory training, which took place at Norview High School, helped principals, assistant principals, school counselors, and security officers learn more about the risk of violence in Virginia schools and the importance of prevention.
The Virginia legislature mandated that all schools have threat assessment teams in response to the Sandy Hook shooting and before that the Virginia Tech shooting. So threat assessment is a new process. It's a problem-solving approach to student problems that doesn't rely on zero tolerance and simply moving the kid out of school.
Representatives from the Virginia Mentoring Partnership provided NPS employees with formal mentor training in November. The training sessions, which were held at Norfolk State, taught staff members how to effectively recruit and train mentors for students at their schools. Lake Taylor High School has an environmental science teacher on a mission. Jeffrey Timmerman's mission is to convince his students that it's their responsibility to care about their local ecosystem. Here's Dawn Anderson with the story.
The Advanced Placement Environmental Science students at Lake Taylor High School have been given a unique hands-on opportunity. Their teacher has challenged them to monitor the quality of the lake behind the school and then educate the community about what they're learning. The young scientist's new probeware was obtained with grant money provided by 2 organizations.
The first grant I was awarded was a NOAA Climate Stewards Grant, and that was a grant for me to put together a stewardship action project for the students to have a meaningful impact in their community that was related to climate change. My second grant that I was awarded was from the Dominion Educational Partnership, and that was for the same purpose. And so with the funds that they gave me, $4,000 in total, I was able to buy modern electronic probeware for the students to do actual scientific experiments.
This course is way more interesting. It's more active. You do more and you learn more, do more physical things. We take samples from the lake and we measure turbidity, pH, conductivity. We do all these things in an effort to try and find out what's wrong with the lake, to maybe see what we can do to fix it.
The class has also gotten insight from Norfolk's reservoir manager.
He asked us questions like, why would the dissolved oxygen level be different? Why would the temperature here be different than over there? And led us on to asking questions about the wildlife and the biotic factors.
These AP students feel that the community education aspect of their assignment is critical.
We took a lot of pictures of the trash and the wildlife and the murkiness of the water.
I'm big on the environment and learning about how everything and humans relate to what's happening around us and how stuff is polluted from us and how we can fix it. Most people at our school aren't even aware of the lake that's right out there, and they don't know that it's polluted and there's trash. We went out there, there was a couple tires out there that were just thrown and lodged in there, and I've always wanted to be able to actually help the environment and help the earth be better than what we've made it to be.
The Dominion and NOAA grants also funded the purchase of a new weather station. It will be mounted on the roof at Lake Taylor High School next semester. Tarleton Elementary was one of more than 2,800 schools and organizations representing 36 countries for this year's colossal sports stacking event held on Guinness World Records Day.
We are doing the Guinness Book of World Records Stack Up Day, and this is where all the kids, kindergarten through 5th, come in and they stack for 30 minutes. At the end of the day, we'll get online and put our number of kids in, and we're trying to beat last year's record of 483,000, and we're hoping to get 500,000 people that will be stacking this year.
Students at Tarleton helped beat the world record, along with over 550,000 stackers worldwide. The monthly school board meeting for the City of Norfolk will be held on Wednesday, December 18th, in the boardroom on the 12th floor of the School Administration Building. The meeting will begin at 7 p.m. and is open to the public. If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to contact us at npsnews@npsk12.com. And coming up next on NPS Sports, elementary school students cheered on the Lady Monarchs thanks to a special partnership. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Suttmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. It was Education Day at the Ted Constant Center recently as Norfolk Public Schools and Old Dominion University partnered up for a great event. A record crowd was on hand to watch Old Dominion Lady Monarchs take on the UMass Lowell Riverhawks. Before the game, Norfolk Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Samuel T. King, Old Dominion President John Broderick, and Old Dominion Athletic Director Wood Seelick presented game balls to NPS Executive Director Pat Malisi, as well as school board members Dr. Warren Stewart and Rodney Jordan for their support of Education Day. Lacey Caruth of our own transportation department was recognized for coordinating 124 buses for the children to get to and from the TED. Also recognized was Jimmy Hall of Venture Charters, who donated 17 buses as well. NPS students displayed their talents as well. The Larchmont Choir sung the national anthem, and the halftime entertainment was provided by the Chesterfield Academy 5th grade dribblers. What started out as a simple idea has grown into a massive affair. I was able to talk to Debbie White, Senior Associate Athletic Director at Old Dominion University, to get more details.
It takes a village, is what I told somebody a few minutes ago. Starting certainly with the Norfolk Public Schools and the Department of Transportation. We have multiple meetings that start back as early as August for this. And then we have to even set the date for the game almost a year in advance. So let's start back that far. But moving forward then, we've got to work with the Constant Center staff and transportation to get all these buses in here. There's getting the schools to jump on board first. We sell the tickets to the children for $2 a piece, and then we also offer a $5 lunch for the children, which they can take part in as well. So then it's the collection of the money. We had a class involved this year to help us facilitate the work with the students. And then collecting the money, delivering the tickets, and ultimately opening the doors this morning to let 6,200 some students in.
All right, 6,200 students. We started the first year with about 1,900. And then we went to about 3,000 last year, so 6,200 is an excellent number, and we want to look to go even bigger next year.
Yeah, I think our goal is to get every single school to participate. We're almost there this year, I think 2 or 3 short. So ultimately that's our goal, is to get every elementary school. And we've opened it up to a few middle schools this year too, who have also jumped on board too. So we would love to have the more the merrier, as many as we can fit in the TED, which is about 8,400 seats.
The students were excited and brought their enthusiasm throughout the day. While there was basketball on the floor, there was also a bigger picture in play.
Well, universities are here to give back to the community they live in, so that's the first part, is the partnership. But second, we also hope that our young ladies who are on the floor are great role models for these elementary school children who may not have even thought of college, certainly at that age. Many who have probably never even stepped on a college campus, even though they live right here in the neighborhood. So that's what all of this is about, opening their eyes and ears a little bit to what can happen after high school.
Old Dominion went on to win the game 90-57. Congratulations to all that participated in this great event. For all your scores and updates, check out your Big Team websites. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. With us today is Dr. Brad Robinson, Vice Chair of the School Board and owner and operator of Ward's Corner Chiropractic. Welcome to NPS Now, Dr. Robinson.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. It's like by day you operate a chiropractic practice, then at night or late evenings or late afternoons you're a Vice Chair of the School Board. How long have you been on the school board here in Norfolk?
This is the beginning of my second term, so about 2.5 years.
What inspired you to be a part of the school board?
First of all, my kids graduated from Granby High School, and I was very pleased that they did graduate from Norfolk Public Schools, and my background as a teacher made me want to step up and do whatever I could to help the school system. And as have my practice here in Norfolk, and I've been here 25 years now, or 27 years. I felt that the perspective that I brought as a business owner and a parent and as a former teacher would benefit the school system.
So that inspired you to become a school board member?
Yes, it did.
Where are you originally from? Norfolk or?
No, I grew up in a small town outside of Detroit, Michigan, a little town called Howell, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised there. Went to high school there. It was one high school in the town, and it was a great small town upbringing. And went on to Central Michigan University, where I graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Education. I taught for 2 years in Michigan and was part of the recession of the early 1980s, and actually was riffed. I was laid off because of budget cuts.
Wow.
And moved to Atlanta, Georgia, to Gwinnett County, Georgia, and taught there for a year.
So what did you like most about teaching?
I loved interacting with the kids, being a role model and a mentor, and trying to shape their minds and help them move in a positive direction.
So being a school board member, you understand what it is in the classroom for our teachers. You had that firsthand experience.
Oh yes, I know the challenges they face and the issues that they deal with on a day-to-day basis, yes.
So how did you segue from teaching to chiropractic?
Well, it's interesting. The school I was teaching and coaching at in Michigan, it's Holly High School, had a chiropractor as a team doctor. And I was having some health problems myself. And I went to him, didn't know much about chiropractic at all, and went to him, and I was amazed how he was able to help me without drugs and surgery. I said, this is for me. After my last year of teaching in Georgia, I decided it was time to make a career switch. There's a Life Chiropractic Colleges in Atlanta or Marietta, and I made the leap of faith and went and moved into that direction.
So
yes.
you started a whole new career all over again.
Yes, it was pretty scary, but I was very fortunate because I was single at the time, very little responsibility, so I could take those kind of chances and risks without too many people dependent upon me. So
how did you make it here to Norfolk?
You know, that's an interesting story. I knew when I was in Atlanta that I wouldn't stay there forever. It's too big, too crowded. So I took a map of southeast United States, and I started at Pensacola and drew circles around all the major metropolitan areas up to Washington, D.C., and just started looking at them and found out that Norfolk had only 5 chiropractors at the time for 250,000 people. Wow. I said, this is where I was needed. I knew I wasn't going back to Michigan after 5 years in the South. I wasn't going back there. It was too cold.
So how long have you been a chiropractor?
27 years now.
And you've had your practice in Norfolk?
Yes. I started working for another doctor in Ghent who just retired, Dr. Richard Rice, a good friend of mine and a mentor. I worked in his office for just under 2 years and then decided to go out on my own.
Well, you have a pretty diverse career. You've been then bringing it back home from your first love, which was teaching,
yes,
and being on the school board. What do you find to be the most rewarding part of serving as a school board member?
When I get out into the schools and I see what the teachers are doing and the administrators are doing for our children, and the fine work that with the limited resources that they're pouring their hearts into helping these children, and then you see the results of it. You see the kids the young man that passed all those AP exams, aced all those AP exams. You see the strolling strings. Let me tell you a quick story. The first principal of the day, Ted Daughtry asked me to go to Granby because my kids went there and I knew him. And I was sitting there and the orchestra was playing in the cafetorium there, and the hair on my arm stood up just because it was just such a they were playing such beautiful music, and it reinforced that, and everything else reinforces the idea that kids can get a great education in Norfolk Public Schools.
And we have some phenomenal students, some phenomenal programs, and phenomenal teachers that are working very hard in the classroom.
You're so right, absolutely.
And you definitely relate to them because you were a teacher yourself.
I tried to. That was a long time ago.
Well, not too long ago. You still look young.
Thank you.
Well, listen, I'm wondering, what advice would you give someone, a business owner, a parent, a community activist, on how to become a school board member?
How to become a school board member? Ooh. The best thing you can do is get involved with the community. I started out working with the Wards Corner Business Association. I was a member, and then I became the president of the association, and then became part of the Wards Corner Partnership and Task Force, and got to know some of the other council members and other people within the city, and my name was out there. I was asked to be the chairman, or asked to be on the first board of directors, advisory board for the Norfolk Fitness and Wellness Center, and I was the chairman of that. And then I got asked to be on the board of commissioners for the Lake Taylor Transitional Care Hospital. Those experiences and got my face and name out there into the community and in the city, that people felt comfortable in putting my name in nomination.
Good. So what do you think are some of the issues that the school board is facing this year?
Money is always a big issue. We never have enough resources to do the job that we do. The creating more stability in the administrative level is critical, and that's why I'm so pleased with Dr. King and his staff. He seemed to bring the stability that we need, and it's beginning to filter down into the schools themselves. I think that will help tremendously. Getting more parents involved. I know my kids did well in school because I did what my parents did, and that was make sure I was ready to go to school. I did my homework. They backed up the teachers. And if we can get more parents doing that, I think the kids will get a better education.
So what legacy would you like to leave as your position as school board
vice
chair?
I want to definitely leave the school system better than we found it, which means we're, as in Dr. King's words, we're raising the floor and the ceiling. I think that's a positive input. I also want to make sure that, from a taxpayer standpoint, that we're utilizing our dollars as effectively as possible.
Right. Well, thank you for allowing us to meet you up close and personal to learn more about Dr. Robinson. Thank you for joining us. And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs every week on WNPS Channel 47, or you can catch us online at www.npsk12.com. Again, thank you for watching NPS Now.